Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, father no children. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn, the horn that wakes the sleepers, the shield that guards the realms of men. I pledge my life and honour to the Night's Watch, for this night and all the nights to come. The Night's Watch is a sworn military order tasked with defending the realms of men from the dangers that lie beyond the wall, the immense fortification of ice spanning the northern border of the Seven Kingdoms. Founded during the Age of Heroes after the others were driven back during the Long Night, the Order has stood watch for thousands of years. Members of the Night's Watch are known as Black Brothers, distinguished by their all-black attire. New recruits who swear their vows are said to have taken the black as a result of this. The Watch is among the oldest surviving institutions in the Seven Kingdoms, enduring the fall of the realms of the First Men and the coming of the Andals, and lastly the Targaryen conquest. The Order traces its origins to more than 8,000 years ago, at the end of the Long Night, during that Age of Darkness when the night covered the world for a generation. The others descended from the lands of Always Winter, devastating much of Westeros. The Night's Watch rose to stand against them and achieved a victory in the fabled Battle for the Dawn, an event remembered in legends as the night that ended. In the aftermath of that war, Bran the Builder, the founder of House Stark, is said to have raised the wall as a bulwark against the darkness, and since that time, the Night's Watch has protected the realms of men. During the Age of Heroes, the Children of the Forest were said to have aided the Order, gifting it hundreds of obsidian daggers every year, a gesture of alliance between men and the elder races of Westeros. In the long millennia that followed, no renewed assault by the others, save for the tale of the Night's King, the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, whose corruption remains one of the darkest chapters in the Watch's history and a great mystery to its true nature to this day. Therefore, the Order's enemies in the modern era were chiefly the Free Folk, who waged their own wars and raids under the kings beyond the wall. Gradually, the Night's Watch turned its vigilance southward, forgetting that its true purpose was not to fight against the wildlings, but against the ancient and forgotten threats from the far north. The Watch is a shadow of what it once was. Lord Eddard Stark to King Robert Baratheon, A Game of Thrones Chapter 4, Eddard 1. The Night's Watch is divided into three distinct orders that all have their own important role to play in the running of the institution. There are the Rangers, the Builders, and the Stewards. All members of the Watch serve under the authority of the Lord Commander. Each of the individual orders is led by its own officer. The First Ranger, the First Builder, and the Lord Steward, each of these appointed by the Lord Commander. The Order of the Stewards oversees the essential daily operations of the Night's Watch, ensuring the Order's ongoing survival. Their duties include hunting, farming, tending horses, gathering firewood, preparing meals, crafting clothing, maintaining weapons, and securing supplies from the south. Like all brothers of the Watch, stewards are trained in combat and must be ready to fight when called upon. Men not so martially inclined often find themselves as part of the stewards as a result. Without the work of the stewards, the Watch itself would cease to function. The Lord Steward, also known as the First Steward, is currently Bowen Marsh. The Order of the Builders is responsible for tending to and maintaining the wall and its castles. The Order provides masons, carpenters, miners, and woodsmen. In effect, the core purpose of the Builders is to carry out duties that are centered around maintaining the wall. Once, long ago, builders of the Night's Watch obtained large blocks of ice from lakes in the haunted forest, north of the wall, which they dragged south in order to make the wall even higher. Their tasks nowadays include looking for cracks in the wall, signs that the wall is melting, or other structural problems, and making whatever repairs they can. When patrolling the wall during their checkups, they ride mules. They also repair the keeps and towers of the Watch, dig tunnels and crush stones for the roads and footpaths on top of the wall, and clear away the parts of the forest that press too close to the wall on the northern side. Othel Yarwick leads them as the current First Builder. The Order of the Rangers serves as the primary fighting force of the Night's Watch. Skilled in survival and wilderness navigation, they are tasked with scouting and patrolling the haunted forest beyond the wall. They defend the realms south of the wall from threats, riding out to confront wildlings and, according to legends, the others. The first ranger at the start of the books was Benjen Stark. There is also an unofficial fourth order of the Night's Watch, recruiters, who are known as Wandering Crows. The Night's Watch also includes septons, maesters, and at Eastwatch-by-the-Sea even sailors. Because brothers come from all corners of the Seven Kingdoms, and even some from Essos, they share an unspoken agreement to avoid politics and past allegiances. During times of war in the Seven Kingdoms, the Night's Watch maintains neutrality, honouring all kings, but serving none of them. A single blast from a sentry's horn signals the return of the Rangers, 2 blasts warns of wildlings, and 3 announces the presence of the others. 2 long blasts followed by a short one serves as a call to mount horses. Though the wildlings in the Watch are often considered ancient enemies, some Black Brothers maintain friendly relations with the Free Folk, such as Crasta and Hagon. Trade and quiet cooperation between the two groups occurs more often than most in the South realise, with some wildlings known to barter at Eastwatch-by-the-Sea. The men who formed the Night's Watch knew that only courage shielded the realm from the darkness to the north. We all do our duty when there is no cost to it. How easy it seems then to walk the path of honour. Yet soon or late, in every man's life comes a day when it is not easy, a day when he must choose. It hurts, boy, oh yes, choosing. It always hurts, and always will, I know. Maester Aemon to Jon Snow, A Game of Thrones Chapter 60. Jon 8. The Lord Commander of the Night's Watch serves as the supreme authority over the Order, overseeing all its operations. A Lord Commander remains in office until their death, after which a successor is chosen through an election by the Brothers of the Watch. Any man who has taken the black may be nominated for the position, no matter their birth or station. The Lord Commander at the start of the series, at the onset of the War of the Five Kings, is Jeor Mormont. He is advised by the First Ranger, Benjen Stark, First Builder, Othel Yorwick, and Lord Steward, Bowen Marsh. He also relies on trusted officers, including Jarman Buckwell, Sir Malador Locke, Sir Jeremy Raykar, Thorin Smallwood, and Sir Otten Witch. The command at the Shadow Tower, furthest western castle of the Watch, is held by Sir Dennis Mallister, while Cotter Pike leads Eastwatch-by-the-Sea. Their maesters include Aemon, Mullin, and Harmon, respectively, who advise the senior leadership at each castle. While some men join the Night's Watch as a means of redemption or to avoid punishment, others do so for honour, a chance at command, or the freedom of ranging north of the wall. Most of the Watch's officers come from the nobility or knightly classes, as birth and education often lends themselves to leadership roles. However, the Night's Watch also offers rare opportunities for advancements to common-born men of skill and merit. Notable examples of this include the likes of Corrin Halfhand and Cotter Pike, the latter a bastard-born sailor who rose to command at Eastwatch. The Watch thus stands as one of the few meritocracies in the feudal system of Westeros. In earlier ages, service on the wall was considered a great honour and a noble calling that reflected the courage and discipline and devotion to duty. Many knights, lords, and honourable men once took the black of their own accord. In modern times, however, the Night's Watch has lost most of its former prestige. It is now seen largely as an alternative to punishment, a refuge for the disgraced, the criminal, and the unwanted. Recruits are often drawn from the dungeons and stockades across the Seven Kingdoms by the Wandering Crows. Among their ranks can also be found disgraced nobles, men who are bastard-born, and the unwanted sons of great houses, many of whom resent their fate and serve reluctantly. Those who join the Watch of their own free will may depart at any time during the training process, but once the vows are spoken, the commitment is for life. Desertion is punishable by death. Upon taking a black, a man renounces all claims to lands and titles, forswears marriage, and vows never to father children. Members are also encouraged to sever any remaining ties to their families, leaving behind the lives they once knew in service of the realm. When recruits are considered ready to take the black, they say their vows either in the sept at their respective castle, or before a heart tree if they follow the old gods. Once a man has taken his vow, his crimes and debts are forgiven. Brothers of the Night's Watch serve for life, and death is the only way out. It is customary to finish a Black brother's eulogy with the words, "And now his watch is ended." Castle Black contains a lich-yard where many members of the Watch are buried, and knights can be laid to rest in the ancient tombs near the lich-yard or burned on a pyre. The Night's Watch had 996 Lord Commanders before John Mormont, most of them men of courage and honour, but we have had cowards and fools as well. Our tyrants and our madmen. We survive because the lords and kings of the Seven Kingdoms know we pose no threat to them. No matter who should lead us, our only foes are to the north, and to the north we have the Wall. Benjen Stark to Jon Snow. A Storm of Swords chapter 55. Jon 7. The Night's Watch originally raised 19 castles along the 100 leagues of the Wall, though no more than 17 were ever garrisoned at once. Today, only 3 remain occupied by the ever-dwindling forces of the Watch. These strongholds are not true castles in the southern sense, but rather fortified garrisons composed of barracks, stables, storehouses, towers and outbuildings. None possess defensive walls of their own, except for the wall itself, which serves as its greatest fortification. This design allows the Watch to concentrate its strength along the wall's northern face, fearing no attack from the south, in keeping with their vow to abstain from the wars of the Seven Kingdoms. Due to the severe manpower shortage, the Watch now maintains only the Shadow Tower, Castle Black and Eastwatch-by-the-Sea. Patrols that once regularly travelled the leagues of the Wall have grown infrequent as the Order's numbers have dwindled. To navigate the icy heights, the Watch employs sure-footed mules, specifically bred and trained at Eastwatch, capable of traversing the ungravelled parts of the wall that run between the ancient castles. The Gift, comprising of Brandon's Gift and later the New Gift, is the stretch of land laying south of the wall. The original 25 leagues were granted to the Night's Watch by Brandon of House Stark, traditionally believed to have been the same Brandon the Builder who built the wall. The idea of this land was to provide sustenance for the Order. For centuries, the Watch farmed these lands, tending fields, orchards, and beehives. Yet as their numbers have waned, so too did their ability to maintain this territory, allowing the wilderness to reclaim much of the Gift. In gratitude for the Watch's centuries of service, and wishing to strengthen its ranks, Queen Alysanne Targaryen, consort of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen, doubled the size of the Gift. The lands added thereafter are known as the New Gift. Where inhabited by towns and villages, the people support the Watch through taxes, labour and goods. Over time, however, repeated wildling raids and gradual migration southwards of the settlers into the mountains or umberlands diminished the population of the New Gift, reducing the resources available to sustain both the Watch and the Wall. The closest settlement to Castle Black is Molestown, a large subterranean village within the Gift, whose brothel is often frequented by members of the Night's Watch. Other sites such as Queen's Crown stand abandoned, a remnant of a more prosperous age, when the Watch's lands still thrived. The sworn brothers of the Night's Watch are clad entirely in black, giving rise to the saying that new recruits had taken the black. The garments are typically of rough-spun wool, though the officers and brothers of nobility or wealthy birth may wear velvet, crisp leather, moleskin, or sable. The all-black attire has earned the Watch several nicknames among the free folk. They're commonly known as crows or black crows, terms often used as an insult, but later embraced by many within the Order. They are also called the Black Brothers, the Black Cloaks, and in songs and legends, the Black Knights of the Wall, because every member of the Watch swears a lifelong oath. Because the Night's Watch swear a lifelong oath, any stranger who happens to be wearing black in the north may be regarded with suspicion as a possible deserter. In battle, the brothers wear thick ringmail and coifs, often accompanied by half-helms. Each man carries a steel knife, and noble-born recruits relinquish the heraldry of their house in favour of a plain black shield. The Watch employs a wide range of weapons, including axes, long axes, bows, spears, swords and longswords. Guardsmen carry war horns, while foresters wield axes for cutting timber. For the defence of the wall itself, the Night's Watch maintains catapults and scorpions and trebuchets. When raging beyond the wall, brothers carry black tents that blend in with the shadows of the frozen wilderness.